My team members today and others are joining us virtually. We're going to be talking about health risks in high profile, stressed out entertainment and lending careers that may provide some health risks that we need to be more mindful and aware of. Unfortunately, last week we had another prominent member of the Houston music community pass away, and that was Justin B. King Riley. He's a legend. He was a living legend. And unfortunately, he's one of the artists I wanted us to be able to work with, and hopefully somebody that I know was so smart. He's one person that would have understood what we're doing here. And unfortunately, we don't get the chance to work with him because he passed away from a pulmonary embolism at 39 years old last week. Mm-hmm. We're going to be talking today about our project, what we're trying to do for the entertainment community. And our team is going to set some health goals. And we're all going to start being more mindful of our health. I love all of us. And I want all of us to be healthy. And I want all of us to be here to see the success side of all of this. Mm. I have my purpose coach here today, and she's so important to my life because I think sometimes I'm going to work myself to death, and I need him to explain to everybody how important it is for us to put our health first. I don't want to die before this gets started. And Penny already has a ticker keeping her ticker ticking. So we don't need anything happening to Penny either. And I know all of you are going to deserve hazard pay by dealing with me throughout this process. I have some nice bonuses on the way.
And Ben said it's not going to happen, by the way.
Yeah. So I want all y'all to introduce yourselves real quick. Sorry, I got emotional. I'm a girl. And I love y'all so much. And I'm just hurt that somebody else that's young isn't here. And I want it to stop. I want a lot of things to stop. But today we're going to put health first. Because if I don't start getting more help, I'm going to hurt myself. And Penny, I don't want nothing to happen to Penny.
Me neither. Hey, everybody. My name is Penny, and I'm a lawyer, but I promise I have more personality than most lawyers, even if I do say so myself. And I'm thrilled to be here working with Amy. And I love this because it's taken me out of my comfort zone. I mean, I've got the legal strength and the ability to research and do contracts, but it's taken me out of my comfort zone. And it's a learning experience. And it's so much better than litigating over a contract, which I can still do, don't worry. But I love being here. And Amy and I, we've been really working hard. I mean, it's kind of crazy. She's in the bedroom at my house, and I'll text her at 2, and she'll be like cross-texting me at the same time, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. That's okay sometimes, but the problem is it's constant. And she and I together are going to work on that. We've got to get a routine, and that would help anybody. And I don't care what you're doing. Get a routine. Sleep is the number one thing that you've got to do. You've got to regulate your body. So anyway, enough about that. But I'm glad to be here, and I'm sure I'll be back talking in a minute. Yes.
We are the Punches. I'm Richmond Punch, and I'm so happy to be here today with my wife, who's like my awesome support. And I can speak to the amazing things that can happen when you have help to try to make it in the entertainment industry, and how that's also helped to me health-wise, but also, of course, the many challenges that we do face. But I'm the director of entertainment, and this is my wife, who will also be literally, I don't know, assistant, she definitely wears many hats, and we're just really looking forward to this. And I also would like to, during the course of this podcast, to speak of a recent high school classmate I had as well, that's near my same age, that passed, also a world-class musician, passed from a stroke, and he's 44 or 5.
It can happen anytime. That's the scary thing.
Yes, and so I know, if it's okay, did you guys not want to be on camera, Ms. Punch?
We're here. We're on.
Okay, so I did want to highlight, I wanted to highlight how amazing you are. Ever since I've known y'all, when I see one of you, I think of the other one. And when I see vice versa, because you are one representation of each other, and you guys run an amazing business, and that's why you're a part of this project. And that's why when I met you guys in Atlanta and I found out your story, I was like, God, what is my purpose with that family? What are we going to do together? And look at us now. Look at where we're going now. Look at what we have going on now. I knew right then and there you all were special, and you're successful because your wife has your back.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. And I want to highlight her today, and I want to let her speak a little bit about the things she goes through, just being your wife and supporting your high energy career.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Christian here. Christian, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Christian. Well, according to what you've been saying all recently, I am CEO in training, and I've kind of been running around with Penny and Amy for a while now, helping out wherever I can with the podcasts and video and all that. So
I'm glad to have him.
Yes. Oh, I saw his talents immediately. He sought me out after you stalked me. You stalked me.
I did, yes.
Yeah, he stalked me and learned all about the project. He called me to tell me about my project. And I was like, oh, this kid needs to work for me.
I read,
like that.
Yeah, I read it was, what newspaper was that on?
It was that CBS.
East Wilco Insider.
Oh, yeah.
And I read that article about this project, and immediately I was like, because actually my great grandmother had brought it to my attention. She was reading it. She gave it to me, and I was like, all right. And I scanned it, and I found Amy's name, and I was like, okay, now go on the internet. I found Amy, and I got in contact with her within a couple of hours, actually. And we talked for a couple hours, our first phone call, and then the next couple of days, we had just figured out where I'd fit and how I could help.
And I kept adding stuff every other day.
Yes, you still do.
All right. And if we don't mind, let's see, Brian. Brian has medical knowledge. He's worked in the medical pharmaceutical field area, and he is our new CFO. I would like for Brian to introduce himself next.
Well, thank you. First of all, that was a great introduction. I'm Brian. First, great to be here. First kind of time ever being on a podcast, so excuse me for a little nervous, but it's an interesting topic that we're talking about with stress and how to handle stress. And I can tell you, I was probably not the best person to handle stress, especially in my early career. I started my career in Wall Street, and Wall Street is, if you're running, you're too slow. So, it really does become a really stressful world. And that's what I thought was necessarily the norm. And then as you get older, when you're younger, I think you can handle that kind of stuff, and you could handle the stress, and you could kind of push it off, and it's okay. And as you get older, you start to realize how much it resonates and how much it actually becomes part of you, and not necessarily in a good way. So good healthy habits are really things that I'm trying to start implementing in my life. Gym, time for yourself where you can actually just, take a break, right? And just kind of work hard, play hard. I think that's the old motto, but there was a little bit more about the play hard. Everybody always says that, work hard and play hard. And everybody tends to, or at least it was 99% work hard. And then when you played hard, it was like, oh yeah, I deserve this. And it wasn't the downtime that you needed. So there has to be that real healthy balance to help you really become the best person you can be in all aspects of your life, your personal life, your professional life, parent, spouse, family member, friend. So real important topics today, and I'm really happy to be invited to be on this.
Thank you. We'll do Ben and then Brandy, and we don't. I have a surprise guest that's just moderating today. We won't say the other name that we see on camera because it's my son. All right, we'll go Ben and Brandy, and then we'll open up the discussion about our health topics.
But hey, Amy and everyone, it's a pleasure to join this amazing conversation, be a part of what we're talking about. Myself as a certified purpose coach, this is my sweet spot, is how we bring together that personal fulfillment, that outer success? How do we find balance in such a new society where the social expectation is grit and grind your way to the top? But how long can you do that? How long can you sustain that in ways that we bring in some grounding, some stress techniques that we can do some things around connecting deeper to our emotions, feel what we're really feeling, and identify and associate what that feeling is? And how do we take feelings and go into other places around what are some of the things you think about when you were a child that you want to connect with and stay true to, that are part of your identity? What are some ways that we can leverage some other tools around getting into your most authentic and true capital S self? How do we stay there, and how do we let that part of our lives lead us rather than having other parts of sub personalities really show up for us and guide us in directions that are putting others' needs or fear of a future emotion that we know doesn't exist, but we fear the feeling that it could be a potential, but we lose ourselves and take ourselves out of the present and get stuck in a future state that we don't have control over. We can do the things and keep ourselves inside of the emotions and connectedness and groundedness and things around meditation, yoga, gym time. Brian, great for mentioning that, right? Gym. So it's like, how do we think about the trifecta, the body, mind, spirit, right? How do we bring those all together to bring longevity and sustainability? So excited to be joining you on this conversation.
Thank you so much.
I had for a while those step machines in my house. That was great because you could do that 14, 15 minutes and just be dripping in sweat and feel like you'd done your part for the day. And so that's my deal. And in a minute, I'm going to talk about substance abuse because I also have some experience with that. But for now.
So yeah, when I found out Penny had a ticker, I went and cried in my room and I prayed to God, please make me nicer, God. Please help me with my anger. Help me with my patience. I felt the biggest guilt of whoosh over my whole soul because I didn't know, like, I really put her through a lot. Like, she's like my mom, best friend, and I'm like, we argue every day, like we're best friends, and she's my boss. Don't get it twisted. I am not the boss.
That's not true.
Nothing.
Good job.
Like, I can't make a decision without her letting me know it's okay first.
Okay, now that one I might go with.
That is
and that's where Brian and Justin come in as well, because they have to help make sure I'm making good choices. Because if it was up to me, I'd be like Mansa Musa out here passing out jewels to everybody. And then we'd be a bankrupt company in a bankrupt world. And we can't do that. I've learned through working and dying 3 times and still not dying, creating this haunted Texas theme park project. It is a lot harder than people think. And I don't think people are willing to die for what they want anymore. I'm dead already. I've died and I'm still here. So, I mean, I died and I still didn't die 3 times. So this has to be my purpose. And so Ben.
He just said something.
Oh, what'd you say?
So we got a ghost on this episode?
yes.
Live and in person. Hey.
Ghost.
You know, I tried. I was like, God, I'm tired. I'm tired, God. And God said, nope, what I want you to do is down there. And here you go. Nice to see you again. Go back down there and do what I said. That's what God told me. So, you know, Ben, now that you've got to meet a little bit of my team today and the amazing people that support me as a female founder, and you're my purpose coach, is this all starting to make a little bit more sense?
Not one bit. No, this is all the context, right? This is it. And just real quickly, what I'm hearing too is there's strong continuity between what everyone's talking about and it's decision making. We can set so many goals, but if we're not making the right decisions that guide us and keep us on the path toward those goals, then we're not going to achieve them. And going back to the sleep piece, right? When mentioning earlier, mind, body, spirit, right? Where Brian, you're spot on talking about like the fitness piece, everyone talking about the fitness piece, talking about the things that we eat, But that sleep piece is the piece that a lot of people can miss. You can eat so healthy and you can work out 2 times, 3 times a day. But if you're only giving your body 3 hours of sleep, those things are massively, they're compromised. And so when we think about all of these things coming together, what kind of decisions do we need to make, as well as our decision-making processing is improved when we sleep better. Imagine how hard it is to make good decisions for ourselves if we wake up tired. Well, what's the easiest decision I can make? Get something bad to eat because it's easy, it's convenient. How accessible is that to us? So then when we think about bringing these pieces together, and also on the piece where we talked about kind of that social and societal expectation around the grind, hashtag grind, and thinking about how do we get away from that a bit where we find better balance in our lives. We talked about work-life balance, right? And those sorts of things. There's a great author, business author I like to follow. His name's Jim Collins. He's got a book, Built to Last, and I think from good to better, or those. And he has this phrase. He talks about the tyranny of the or and the genius of the and. And so what are some things that we can make as decisions in our lives as humans that aren't necessarily the this or that? How do we work towards things that help us with our lowering stress, help us with our health, help us with sleeping, right? Penny, you nailed it, right? I was thinking about the concept. Fitness is so important and movement is so important. If you do 30 minutes of walking a day, it's 30 minutes more activity than you're doing than zero, but it's easy. Put on a podcast, put on some music. What gets you outside, right? When we get outside in the nature, and yeah, it's hot. So Penny, to your point, it's hot. Maybe your your water bill is going to go up because you got so much sweaty, clothes that you're already washing all the time, right? And so, for me recently, one of the big things that I've really been drawn into is this sport that's growing in popularity like crazy right now, which is pickleball. And I'll go out there. It's low impact.
Pickleball is the greatest.
Yeah, it's low impact. It's, the high intensity hit style workout, because you go play an intense match and then you rest for a bit and you go play an intense match. I'll go out there for 2 hours and I'll track on my Apple Watch and it's showing 2,000-ish calories burned. And so doing all that.
Pickleball, it is, guys.
It's crazy, right? So,
yeah.
But how do we do things that again, are long-term sustainability? I just caught a social media post that talked about there's now some new research that's shown 90,000 participants were in this, and people that play racket sports are now being shown to live longer because it activates a part of the brain. I think it's called your cerebrum. That is like only 10% of your brain, but it activates all the rest of your brain. Mm-hmm. So what are things that are bringing like a holistic approach to health, wellness, work-life balance? How can we make better decisions for ourselves? How can we decide what time we want to wake up, what time we want to go to bed, right? Amy, thinking about the phone thing, there's all sorts of research that talks about don't look at a screen for an hour before you go to bed so your brain can start unwinding and come down. That's maybe the time in our routines to put some mindfulness practice. Is that yoga in the evening? Is it yoga in the morning? Is it meditation before we go to bed so we can calm the mind, center ourselves, and get ready for that rest and recovery so that we can get back to the grind that we need to do tomorrow? And I think that's what's interesting too, thinking about this grind culture. It seems why for more people does it seem easier for us to make a decision? I'm just going to sit at the desk for another hour. Then that hour goes by. I got this. I'll sit at the desk. But then when it comes to making that decision for eating a healthy dinner, why does that seem harder for us to make the decision to say yes to sit at the desk, right? And how do we find ways as individuals to empower ourselves to make decisions that are no? I had a good friend of mine here in Austin, Texas. I go on these walks every Saturday morning with this great community, and she just shared it. It was so spot on. Every time you say no, imagine you get a ticket to say yes to something else, right? Because there's things in our life that we have a little bit of this yes culture too, which is, yes, I'll do that. I'll take that on. I'll do this. Amy, we touched on this a little bit, thinking about Randy, you're a past therapist. You may be familiar with a practice I use in coaching, which is the internal family system, and using those different personalities that are going to show up for us, but they're part of your identity. But how do we balance and create boundaries so that we're not going across that and saying yes to the things that don't give back to us? How can we give and receive?
You're totally in my head.
Yes, right. So it's things like internal family system and getting people like Brandy, myself, and coaches. How can you find people that are going to be a catalyst for you to get there quicker? Thinking about the concept of activation energy, right? Where it's that threshold that we have to cross for reaction to start. And so people, therapists, psychologists, coaches, mentors, great people on your team, they're catalysts that's going to lower that activation energy so you can get started sooner, right? Don't wait and just keep pounding your head on the wall and say, well, one day it's going to happen. Well, that activation energy threshold is so far from reach that you're going to feel yourself burn out. That's when people then misassociate feelings and emotions that they're feeling. Amy, we started with this, the feelings wheel, and you were just like, oh my God, the feelings, right? Because you have this primary core set of feelings. Right? We have this primary set of feelings, which is sad, happy, fear, I feel bad, right? But when then you go outside that next layer, and how can you get more descriptive on what you feel to that primary level, and then that tertiary, or the primary is the core, secondary level, and then that tertiary level of your emotions, and be like, wow, okay, this is what I feel. And a lot of times connecting this to health and fitness and sleep, we can slow down. Everybody can use that. Make a decision to at least slow down. And when you're feeling something, I like to practice this, Amy, we talked about it, right? If you feel something, slow down enough to try to associate what that feeling truly is and say, I feel you. Thank you for letting me know. If you internalize that, or if you externalize and vocalize that, because now as soon as you start creating those deeper neural connections to, all right, here's what I feel. It's not anger. It's actually rejection. Because now you know what that feeling and emotion is, so you have better control, and your emotional intelligence is going to come up. Your decision making is going to come up. You're probably going to have signs of lower stress, because anger can sit with people because you're not doing a small bit of mindful work to be, oh, what am I feeling? I could just get stuck in anger and rage, and then it sits in us. It stores in our body in energy places. It can be in your neck and your chest and your legs, and then you start feeling that energy just sitting in you versus how can you process that? I have an amazing friend here in town who is a trauma-informed certified breathwork coach. Her whole thing is how we use breath to clear that stuff out. It's so powerful. And then how, just to wrap up, how that comes back to enabling you and empowering you as an individual to make decisions that are for you. Amy, that's what we talked about. Like, what's the decision you can make for you? Because when you make that decision for you, you're probably going to also then make better decisions for the people around you. It's the concept of that every time we fly, they repeat this concept over and over, but people tend to be like, oh, I've heard this, put on the headphones. I'm just going to listen to music. Put the oxygen mask on yourself before the person next to you. You could help. If you put it on yourself, you could probably maybe help 5 people that are struggling or stressed out. You put it on, your stress is low. People are like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Hey, calm down. Get that mask on you because you made that first decision, and you can help people bring down their stress and anxiety. So I
Welcome to the Haunted Texas Theme Park Podcast. Each episode features engaging interviews with historians and local experts who unveil the mysteries and stories that shape the Lone Star State. Proudly brought to you by Texas Real Property Holdings.
I know he was my coach. Like, I just was like, this is the guy. Thank you. And right before that, one of my friends gave me a reading about telling me that a guide was going to be coming my way. And I'm like, oh, wow, if you really just get in tune with what life has for you and God and the universe, and they all work together, like I'm in tune with whatever the universe, God, and my plan for everything, I'm in tune with that. And I know that because I look at who's around me right now, and we're all on the same path. And we're all on a path to like greatness and miraculous things. And I want to be here for it. So we heard from everybody about our little health plans. Brandy, I didn't hear from you about one thing that you're going to do. I know you got a boo. You and your husband have been together a long time. If you don't mind, I love the topic of marriage being a health topic. You know, we have Richmond and his wife that are happily married and in love, and they set an example. You and your husband have been in love since high school, or, you know, tell us about how marriage plays a part in your health and how that's healthy for you and happy for you. And what effect does being in a happy marriage had on your life?
Well, it makes the hard things easier to bear. What we've discovered is that we all have our own interests. So we spend time doing our own thing, but when we come together on the things that we love, it's wonderful. And you hear a child in the background. It's not my child, but it's the office toddler. Nice kid. But we share a dog together, listen to music together. We just basically enjoy each other's company. And we shut off the mainstream media. We have deep conversations. And we also get very silly together. We've had friends to say, you know, you two belong together. And I mean, it's gone through ups and downs. We've been married for 27 years. We're both 50. But we're just trying to support each other in whatever. So that means that some days we're just like two ships that pass. But I always make sure that I leave him a healthy lunch. If I happen to miss him on the days that he comes home, and he sends me lovely little texts throughout the day, and one of those was like, I enjoyed spending the weekend with you, I love you, and it's like, oh no, oh my heart. But yes, just having those healthy, respectful conversations, and as far as just one thing that I do for myself, I'll take the dog out and I'll ground her at night. She's a 3-year-old Labradoodle. She's hyperactive. She's smart. But we have this routine where I take her out a few times and we listen to the animals and we do other things. You know, just to kind of get us both in the mindset in order to, hey, it's bedtime. It's time to relax. And it works. And I'll even do that during the cold weather, you know, because it also helps me too. I also get up and I'll try to walk a lap around the office building, walk a couple of laps, you know, during my 8 hours in order to get some steps in and clear my mind and prepare myself for the next task. So that's what we do.
Well, that's amazing. I love that. I love that. Richmond, how has being married, let's hear you talk about what are the things you notice your wife does for you to take care of you that you appreciate?
That's a lot.
She'll make you list. She'll let you know. Just a second.
Recording. She's recording. Oh my gosh. Recording. All right. Well, first of all, the word comes, which is like 2 words: love and sacrifice. My wife goes out of her way to make sure that our home is taken care of. She loves to actually tackle most of like a lot of the general things in the house, and like without me even saying anything. Matter of fact, if I do things in the house, she perceives it as like I'm getting in the way, and most of the time. So that's one of the things that is like that stands out the most to me, like our general cooking, taking care of house, all of those things. And you know, I don't want things to be like that anyway. I want to help, but most of the time, if I try to do some things, it's like I'm getting in the way. Okay. So that's one of those things that is amazing. But yeah, but anytime she does need me, wash the dish. I know that I am a very good, extraordinary cooker. chef.
There we go, chef. Yeah.
You good?
And yeah, I love to cook. What else? Oh, when I'm doing my entertainment, there's clothing, outfits, wardrobe. She's my stylist. It started, with just clothing, outfits. What are we going to wear? And then it became, she's my stylist because in my business, I have to have attire in every clothing and match every theme. For instance, one of the things we were going to tackle with Haunted Texas is like Bridgerton type of themes and all those. So I already have like thematic outfits and color schemes for just about everything because that's what I've operated my business on. And so she's right there. She's like, this is the color today. I'll wake up. She's like, it's blue. you can go. It's great today. And yeah, most of the time it's just that's what it is, and I go with it. What else? I think that's a lot of it.
Well, having somebody by your side all the time that is on your team and only your team, that's got to be a big relief.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to your events, just to have somebody that that's watching all the people around you, I bet that really eases your mind, even though you may not even recognize it. I bet it does.
Yeah, a lot of times I feel the urge to call out her, give her props, like from the stage, break away from her program. Like, doesn't even matter what audience is there, and be like, I'm grateful to my wife today who's here, and she does a lot to really build me up, to keep me going, to keep both of us going. And we hope to do a lot. We hope to accomplish a lot with Haunted Texas as well, and be a part of Dream Makers making reality.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Penny, wait a minute. And when our theme park is built, that's going to be a great way to come and relieve your stress and just be a kid for the day. Don't forget.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll keep reminding you, but don't forget.
Yes. And Penny's got to leave here in just a moment because she has a case to go here and do whatever. But we're going to just talk real quick about substance abuse. I am not going to lie. I grew up being in the mortgage industry and being in entertainment. I don't even remember half my life. Okay. I think at some point we all have to realize that, especially when it comes to our health, I don't even take a pill anymore. I don't take pills. I don't take any medication. I am all natural, everything. And I do use herbal supplements. But that's about it. So when it comes to pills, medication, drugs, everything's synthetic nowadays. You don't know what's fentanyl's not in. So, Penny, let's talk a little bit about substance abuse, alcoholism, and how that affected your life and what you learned from that.
Oh, goody. No, I'm just kidding. When I was younger, there's no way I would have told anybody I was an alcoholic just voluntarily. But I am a recovering alcoholic. Let me back up. I do take medication because I think if the doctor gave it to me, it's okay. And I don't see anything wrong with that. It's when, most people, or the vast majority of people, are what we alcoholics call normal. And y'all can get one drink and set it down. But there is something chemically and emotionally in an alcoholic's mind and brain that one drink is never enough. Once you take the first drink, an alcoholic's off to the races. So I am a member of AA, and I just, if you even think you have a problem with it, you can't swing a dead cat in a city without hitting an AA meeting. And it's not embarrassing. Nobody's going to make fun of you. It's the most welcoming, encouraging place I've ever been in my life. Everybody that's there has a story that's just as bad as yours or worse. There's no shame. It's just an awesome feeling. It's like walking into your family if you liked all your family. And they really cared about you. If you have one favorite relative, it's a whole room of that favorite relative. But I just encourage you, even if you think, I don't want to do that because I'm going to be embarrassed. There's nothing embarrassing about it because every person that's in that room is sat right where you sat. They had the first day they walked in that door, and people will give to you and give to you and give to you to help you. But it is the disease, and it is awful. It is the most miserable period. When I was drinking, it was the most miserable time of my life. And of course, then you drink more, so you don't have to acknowledge how miserable it is, but you're lying to everybody. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to your family. I was in a coma for 7 weeks because I already had the heart issue and I already knew I shouldn't be drinking. So I'm already drinking and lying to people about it. And that's bad enough. But then my heart failed and my liver and my kidney for 7 weeks. I was in a coma. And when I woke up and a little bit after that, my kids said to me, who were 16, 20, and 25, Mom, we didn't know where to bury you. So I never have to hear a sentence like that again in my life. It'll be a great thing. But there is help. Just so I don't cry. 70% of the disciplinary actions in the State Bar of Texas involve a lawyer with some kind of substance abuse problem. 70%. I mean, that's not 70% of all lawyers, but anytime a complaint or a grievance is made, 70%. And in our nation, every day, enough people to fill a 747 jet die of alcoholism. If we had any other disease or mental health that was doing that to people in our nation, there would be a public outcry, and all these resources would be poured into them. And I just think that's so sad, because there is help available. It's just hard. It's just like getting started on your walking or your running.
Yeah.
It's just hard to make that first step. But I promise you, your life will be 1,000, as if there's such thing as 1,000%. But if there was, 100% better. And there's nothing wrong with you. You just have a condition, and you would treat any of you broke your leg, you're going to the hospital. There's something in you that needs fixing or needs addressing. So please get some help. I promise you'll be happier, you'll be healthier. And I guess that's it.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody listening.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love you. Go have a good day. Go get him, girl. Oh, you need your phone. Dang it. Well, I guess we can just wrap up. I want to let everybody know, thank you all so much for attending today's show. Ben, thank you. Brandy, Richmond, you guys, Noah, Brian, and our mystery guest. I'm really proud of our mystery guest. Oh, hi. What's their name?
Yes. This is our office toddler. His name is Wyatt.
Office toddler. Oh my gosh.
It's so cute.
Oh my gosh. We're going to have an office toddler. My best friend Stefan is pregnant. We're going to have an office toddler too. I'm going to make that a rule. We're going to have an office toddler. That's going to be healthy for me to have an office toddler. So,
My best friend, that's his birth, so.
That brings up another thing. Where you work,
yeah.
and the conditions in which you work has a profound effect on your life every day. So I hope that, sorry, I'm talking. Our company is going to be, if you've got to bring your kid to work one day, bring him. Yeah. We're going to have, if you need to work from home, or a lot of people, we're not even
got babysitters on campus.
We're not even in the same state. Most of us are not. So, whatever it does to make your work environment the best that it can be. And that's just so much part of our wellness now.
Right.
And it's something that we found out in COVID we could actually do to accommodate people. I mean, if you need to go to your kids' play at 3:00 or noon, go.
Right.
I don't want you sitting at your desk sad. Well, if you're not productive and you're upset, and now I'm gonna get upset, because I want you to go. I mean, that's just good. That's our company. That's how we think.
Yeah.
We're gonna put the people first. We're gonna make money, and everybody's gonna have a good time, and we're gonna work our butts off. Okay.
And y'all know who's running this thing. Yeah. Like this, first of all, this is Texas. We make our own rules down here. We do what we want to do in Texas, and if we want to do something, it's gonna get done. So you don't tell these guys here nothing. I mean, we're just like, this is what we do, and it is what it is. Okay. So I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. Health is a topic that we can't talk about enough. I'm glad we all set some amazing health goals today. I'm going to bed at 11 o'clock tonight, and me and Christian are about to go have our last bad lunch.
Juicy steak.
We're having our last steak right now.
Say there's nothing wrong with steak. I don't think you